The 2026 NFL draft has come and gone. A lot of talented players in new homes, but some are in better situations than others. So we're going to talk about the fantasy fits most likely to frustrate us. I'm USA Today's Christian DeAndrea. He is a Rhode Island scumbag, Mike Yaj Boyaj. And Yaj, let's talk about the guys that we like, but who we don't love for fantasy purposes, and we'll draft them one after another. I took the first pick in the good fit draft. You take the first pick in the frustrating fit draft. Hit me.
You got it. This was a pretty quick pick, considering how early he went in the draft. Much as I love this player, Jeremiyah Love. God, why did it have to be Arizona where he ended up? Oh, man. I mean, I don't blame them for taking the best available player because he clearly was at the third overall. But looking through a fantasy football lens, this couldn't have been more disappointing, I think, for a top anywhere in the top 10. I thought this was one of the worst places for him to end up. Not so much because James Conner. It's more about the signing of Tyler Algier that kind of got me. Because Algier, first of all, in his own right, he could most likely work his way as a low-end running back one if he got the opportunity. He proved he could do so his first year in Atlanta.
We saw it. Yeah.
But unfortunately, he was then dropped into the same backfield as Bijan Robinson. Now, all that really did, Bijan's first year took the shine off his potential as a rookie, and it just made for a real headache for fantasy owners of both of those guys. And we started seeing not so much the second year in, but last year, Bijan started kind of taking more of a role, which kind of just relegated Algier to more of a goal line role, which was still enough to be a pain in the side of fantasy managers. So now we're looking at a situation with best case scenario. Algier is still going to be a goal line back just on another team with another elite running back. So I would have rather seen him in Washington particularly, but unfortunately this is where we're at. So, I mean, he's still very talented, but Jeremiyah Love, not the landing spot we were hoping for.
No, I'm gonna agree with you there. I appreciate that the Cardinals have kind of sort of worked on rebuilding that line, but the Ashton Jeanty scenario is very much in play in Arizona. And speaking of, the Raiders have upgraded their offensive line, but they drafted a guy I absolutely love, and I love Mike Washington Jr. in a platoon role with Ashton. But I also fully understand that he's now the Algier to Ashton Jeanty's Bijan Robinson. This is a guy with amazing breakaway speed, a 4.33 40. He's powerfully built. He's got a little bit more size than Jeanty, but man, it's just going to be days where he gets 5-6 carries out of the backfield. He's just not going to have that volume. He's going to have a few 2-touchdown days. He's going to have some days that light up your daily fantasy, but destroy you in season-long fantasy. And for a guy I really loved, who got better as he went along and got the level of difficulty went up, culminating in Arkansas. Right now, he is ready for the league. He can make a big impact, but he can't do it playing behind last year's 6th overall pick. Yaj, what is your second pick?
All right, my second pick is Kenyon Sadiq, tight end for the New York Jets. As a fantasy manager, I've really enjoyed kind of mining those late round younger tight ends for my teams, whether it be Colston Loveland or Tyler Warren, or even a couple of years back with Laporta. There always seemed to be a young up-and-coming tight end that you could rely on later in drafts. But he just went to a team that just drafted a tight end last year in Mason Taylor, who they were talking up through at least this year before the draft about how he was going to be one of the focal points of that offense. He's still competing with Garrett Wilson, another rookie drafted with Omar Cooper Jr., another guy I wanted to put on this list, but chose to deke over him. You still have A.D. Mitchell, and then there's Taylor. So, unfortunately, I have little to no faith that Geno Smith is going to, A, be revitalized in New York, and B, be able to support this many pass catchers. And kind of a bummer because the Sadiq hype was really, kind of exciting heading into the draft. It's like, oh my gosh, we got our next big tight end, young prospect coming out, and Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't really feel that confident anymore, seeing what his landing spot was. So that's my second, Kenyon Sadiq, New York Jets.
yeah, he's got that Vernon Davis athleticism. He's a willing inline blocker, but yeah, like you said, Mason Taylor. Jets fans already pretty hyped about that guy. I think we
Yeah,
will see a lot of two tight end sets, but even though this team's probably gonna be trailing a whole bunch, I just don't know about it. The good news there, Yash, he's playing with Frank Reich. Frank Reich has done a
that's
pretty
true.
good job with his move tight ends. I mean, he made Trey Burton a thing for a while.
Mhm.
So maybe Kenyon will get there. I'm going to go with another tight end, and he's going to a place you mentioned, playing behind Colston Loveland, behind Cole Kmet. That's Sam Roche
Yep.
of the Chicago Bears. Now, this is a guy who was probably a top 5 tight end pick in a deep draft for him. He's a good athlete. He's a decent inline blocker. He can be your classic tight end, but the path to playing time just not really there in 2026 unless the Bears move on from Cole Kmet, who no guaranteed money. It's possible, but that would make your team worse. And this is a team that needs to take that leap. I mean, it just took one leap, but it needs to go from divisional round to Super Bowl contender.
Right.
I don't know how you fit this Stanford inline, do a little bit of everything tight end into that right now. That's Ben Johnson's problem. I just don't see it.
No.
We did running backs. We hit tight ends. Give me your wide out with the most frustrating fit from this year's draft.
All right. I will say there were several to choose from, but the one I zeroed in on was Malachi Fields, wide receiver now for the New York Giants. I was kind of just puzzled. Again, there's a reason why I'm doing this video with you versus running an NFL team. These guys obviously have way more information. They know a lot more than I do.
That is the one difference, yes.
It was just puzzling to me. You know, it's they traded up. They traded some, at least a couple picks for him to get up there. But they already have an alpha in Malik Neighbors. So I get it. Malik Neighbors is 6 feet tall versus Fields is 6'4". So I mean, I guess we're going for size here, but and the other big trait with him is he's a good run blocker.
Yeah.
He provides size. Well, they just brought over a 6'4" run blocker who's a great pass catcher in Isaiah Likely.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This kind of felt redundant to me that they went and picked up Fields. Now it seems likely that Harbaugh relies on the veteran he brought in rather than the rookie. So this was just kind of puzzling to me. I couldn't really understand the fit. I mean, they signed Darnell Mooney. So, I mean, did we just move up? Not we, but did the Giants move up to the 3rd round to draft a wide receiver 3? I don't really see how this is supposed to work out for them.
Yeah, it does seem that way. I think we're going to see a lot of 12 personnel sets out of New York, and it's a Harbaugh situation now. So I don't know. Maybe you just want to make sure you got a good blocker out there the next time Jackson Dart runs face first into his next concussion. Speaking of, well, no, not really, but my guy that I think is going to underwhelm a little bit, DeJon Stribling, San Francisco 49ers. This is a very weird draft for John Lynch. He goes out and says, the good thing about AI is you don't need to be an expert to draft. Then he had a very AI draft where a lot of stuff didn't make sense. Niners kept trading back, wanted to trade back from 33rd, instead picked a guy right at the border of the 1st round who many thought was going to be like available around pick 60, maybe pick 70. Stribling is a solid burner. He's got good size. He's got good speed, but he's more of a straight line downfield threat. He doesn't have a very diverse route tree yet. What we saw at Ole Miss was big plays downfield and screen passes taken downfield. The issue there is that this is a Kyle Shanahan offense. He needs that run after catch ability in the short and intermediate range to pump up a flawed quarterback like a Jimmy Garoppolo, like a Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy doesn't throw downfield all that often, less than 9% last season. And if you want a guy who can stretch the field vertically and command those double teams, well, guess what? You just signed one in Mike Evans, who's been doing it longer and better than Stribling. So this is, for me, more of a developmental pick, right? Which is not the guy you want at 33 necessarily, but he's got a lot of talent. He's been around a while. He's going to get better. This year, I see him being used more as a decoy, more of that over-the-top guy that creates the space for Ricky Pearsall and Christian Kirk to thrive, man. I don't know. It's going to be a weird year for the Niners, and maybe Stribling goes out, blows the doors off us all, and makes us all look stupid. Chat GPT takes a victory lap. I just don't see it.
No, seems like the Niners are setting up to be third in their division, at least at this rate. But who knows?
We will see. Yash, thanks for being here. See y'all next time.